I was so close to quitting. Let me explain. Last time we had the application, and if we go ahead and start running it, so you can click play, you click the genre, then you click the song. Now you can see notes are coming from the top of the screen, and they go from smaller and they get a little bit bigger. And we just have two stem layout. I felt like that was pretty good for a little thumb game. If we come back over to the Kanban board, we can see we finished the two stem layout. We styled the notes. We didn't go with plain like dart shapes. We just used a sprite, which was a lot easier, and we'll be able to change it out later on. And we transformed the notes as they were coming out the sky. So they start smaller and become a little bit bigger over time. This gives the illusion of falling out of the sky. The next thing to do is the pause. So the first thing I did to figure out what was going on is go to the documentation. So I went to flameengine.org, opened that up, tried to see if pause was in here anywhere. We got pause, background, boom. There is a pause game menu. And this is just talking about overlays. Not exactly what we were looking for, but Flame does also have examples. That's the next place I looked. So I went over here, looked for pause and resume engine. We have this little turkey spinning a baton. We click and it pauses, click and unpauses, click, it pauses back. We're gonna come over to the code, check it out. So it takes you directly to the repo. You can see what they did to pause the game. Great, that looks super simple. To demonstrate why I went down a rabbit hole trying to figure out what's going on, we're just going to use this example, throw it into the game as it is now, and try to add a pause overlay and see how that looks. So from the example, we have to add the tap detector, and then down at the bottom we'll just say override. I believe it's just on tap. We can just copy and paste the example for now. It's really simple. So if paused, we're going to resume the engine if it's tapped, and if not, we'll pause the engine. But right off the bat, saw something a little strange. Paused is undefined for our game. We didn't see it in the example of where they defined pause, but for now we're just going to add it in. Why not? Let's just go ahead and add it. So boolean paused equals, we'll just say false to begin with. And then by adding that, it fixes our little syntax error. So we'll save, click play on the game, genre, song. Okay, so we have the notes coming down. Let's see if we can click the game and have it pause. Perfect. Look at that. We finished the ticket, right? It's perfectly fine. Well, it's not. We forgot to change the value of paused. So let's just go ahead and add that in. So no matter what, we're going to say paused is equal to not paused. And we'll let the game reload, and we'll see what happens. Okay, so the notes are coming back down. If we click on the screen, it pauses. We tap again, unpauses, starts back. Pause, unpause, pause, pause. Why would I be going down a rabbit hole? Looks like it works perfectly fine. We'll get there. So next we're gonna just add like a little small overlay, right? Just hey, you're paused, and you tap it again and it doesn't pause. We'll just put a big red block up on the screen and it'll just say paused. To add the overlay, this is completely just copied and pasted from the example. If we come over to our gameplay, which renders the game widget right here, the game widget takes an overlay builder map. And so what this is just keys and Flutter components. So you can see here our key is a pause menu. So like when the game gets paused, this kind of shows up on the screen. And we just have a centered container with the text paused. So to see what that looks like, we'll uncomment the initially active overlays. And we say, boom, there it is. It's paused. It's great. But we know that a game doesn't start paused. So we'll hide that and start again. But to add and remove these overlays, we come back over here to the tap. Let's see. So when it is paused, we're going to say overlays.remove, and it's just going to take the key, pause menu. And then we'll come down here, and in the else branch, we'll add the pause menu. When we pause it, it adds the menu. When we unpause, it removes the menu. Seems legit. So let's save and see what happens. So if I tap, does it? Okay, so it comes up, goes away. Okay, so now the notes are coming in. We'll tap. The overlay comes up, but the game doesn't pause. It's a really weird bug in my opinion. I have no idea what goes into the Flame Engine's code, but this is when I went down the rabbit hole and I almost quit working on my project until this bug was fixed. And then about 2 or 3 days after I went down that rabbit hole, I came back and I was like, let's look again at the issues. I just looked up exactly the function that I called to pause the engine to see if there's any issues related to that. And what do you know, but there was an issue already opened for it. And I was like, yes, this is awesome. I took a look at the issue, read through it real quick, figured out how to bring in this new dependency. There's me down there just giving some kudos where it's deserved. But yeah, let's just grab this. So we'll copy it. If we go into pub YAML, go to where Flame is, we'll just delete that and we'll comment out the old release candidate. Now we're pulling straight from main. There was an error. What? Get out of here. So now we just hop back into the game. Gosh, Flutter takes forever. So I had a couple of issues trying to get it to upgrade. Had a pod lock file issue, ended up getting that corrected, and now we can test it out and see if the main branch fixes our issue. So we'll just start the song up, wait for the notes to come down, and see if we can pause the game and have the overlay show up at the same time. Okay, so here's the notes. Click pause, and it does fix the issue. We have a little blink that happens. It's a little weird. I can deal with it for now. MVP. So next thing we want to do, so we want to go ahead and update the pause button or create a pause button. We're just going to put it in the top right of the screen, and we'll just try and find an icon for pause and put that in there. So you can see we have the pause button class here. It's a stateless widget, and we're going to go ahead and use the alignment component. And so I can come in here, it takes an alignment, we'll say top right, put it up there for now. Add a child, and that child will have, let's give it a shot doing an icon button. Icons, and if we look at the autocomplete, it looks like we have a circle. So let's try that, pause circle. Yeah, so we'll just go ahead and take that and press, this is going to take a function. And so now we have to pause the game. In order to do that, we need the pause button to take the game reference. So let's just say game. Now we can just say GameRef.pause equals true. Is it pause or pause? Paused. Okay, and it's not liking this. Okay, so the icon here is an actual icon. So let's back it up and we'll say icon, create the widget, and then we'll have icons, pause, and then down here we will have initially active, and why don't we just say pause ID. And then in here, we'll do the same thing, pause button dot ID, and then it takes the function, and we'll just return the pause button with the game. We bring it into the center, you can see it there, and then on press, we have that, boom. Yeah, so let's put that back up at the top. We'll say top center for now. And top center, it looks like it's going to get chopped off. I think what we're gonna have to do is just padding, edge, inset. Let's see, 15, quite. Okay, that's a little too much. 50, so let's go to 25, see where that lands us. Looks pretty good. Let's put that in the top. I'm good with that. Let's increase the size up to 45. 45 looks a little big, so let's drop it down to 35. Looks great. Let's just go over to the game and we'll get rid of this tap detection. On tap can go bye-bye now. So now with the tap detection gone, if we click the screen, it no longer pauses the game. We have to click the pause button at the top, and now we can't resume. Let's fix that. Let's build another stateless widget. Pause menu. This is going to be the same thing. We have to take in the game reference. So we'll grab this. This is no longer the pause button, but the pause menu. We get the game reference on initialize. For this one, I am just going to come down here. We're going to grab this for now. And we'll go back up top. And that's what we will return for now. Let's get rid of everything in the container. Change this container to an icon button. So we know we have to take an icon. And let's just add the play circle. Let's make it a little bit bigger. So what we'll do is say size. We'll go with 75 for now. The next thing we need is on press, and that's going to be very similar. We're just going to have a function, and we're going to say game ref dot paused is false, and we're also going to say game ref dot overlays dot, let's say remove ID, and we will add the pause button ID. That looks right. Let's make sure that our pause button does the same thing. It does not right now, so we'll just take these two and come down here, change this to pause menu, let it refresh. And once again, if we click here, nothing happens. Click the pause button, it's paused, shows up like that. What? We didn't actually change this code, so let's change that real quick. We can get rid of our old code, and we'll change this pause button to pause menu. Let's try that again. So the notes are coming down. If we click anywhere on the game right now, nothing happens. If we click our pause button, that did a lot of stuff. Wow, it's a little laggy. I'm not sure why that's happening, but yeah, okay. So it's playing. Click pause. It kind of flashes, and this shows up. Then we click play. Click play and it goes away. So cool. Thanks for checking out the video, y'all. We'll see you next time.